G'day everyone, Prep Aussie here. I hope you're all well in whatever part of the world you're watching this video. Welcome to all my Australian patriots. Today is Thursday the 28th of June 2018 and the time here is 13:20 Australian Eastern Standard Time. Well folks, yesterday we spoke about bugging out. Well today I want to talk to you about bugging in, because there's a lot of people that are not going to bug out, may never bug out. I would advise that you always have a plan B to bug out, but if you're bugging in, then all strength to you. And there's a lot of people that can't bug out for various reasons. The number one being the emotional attachment to what they own, and standing and fighting for that. And I can agree with that. If that's what you want to do, then you should do that. But I'm not that way inclined. I don't get emotionally attached to houses or cars or anything like that. I just don't see the point. I could walk out of here tomorrow and wouldn't spend a second thinking about it. That's not the same for everybody, and the majority of women are that way inclined. You know, oh my God, I've left my furniture and my photos and blah blah blah. You know, look, your memories are the main thing. So, you know, if you want to do things like that or take things like that, then I would say to you, go and get a flash drive. I can't show you mine. Go and get a flash drive and, sorry, I did bring it, a terabyte, and save everything you own on it. Put it in a waterproof container and take it with you. Vacuum seal it if you have to. That way you're not going to lose everything. And I'd always strongly recommend, you know, you pack your your passports, your birth certificates, etc. in a waterproof bag as well, and take them with you if you're bugging out. But like I said, if you're bugging in, you don't need to do that. Bugging in is not an easy solution, which sounds kind of funny to say, but it's actually not an easy solution. And the reason it's not an easy solution is, let's just say there's mass pandemonium and I'm bugging out. Well, I know for a fact that I'm going to bump into people along the way that I can easily say to, or they can say to them, oh wow, it's Prep. G'day Prep, blah blah blah. Or I can bump into them and go, well, where are you guys going? And go, well, we're going up there. Well, so are we. We'll go together and make it stronger. Of course. If you're bugging in, that doesn't exist unless you've got a group of neighbours encompassing you that are the same. And that may happen, it may not. So if you're bugging in, then that should be your first priority, is to make sure that everyone around you is doing the same thing. And there may be a reason for your neighbours to be bugging in as well. Illness, etc. I want to read you a comment from yesterday, which kind of sums up what I'm trying to say. So just hang on a second. Okay folks, it's this comment here from Sharon Verhayden. Hiya Prep, an Aussie sister here. We are bugging in regardless and have been prepping for ages. We live in a remote area on a farm and I have terminal cancer, but all good. We have been preparing to be self-sufficient in just about every way possible, including stocking up for our very big family, bugging in because got no choice but to stay. Hoping to be able to help other Aussies when the proverbial happens. Time to wake up everyone. Time is over for snoozing and believing anything the government has to say. Hanging on to money is pointless. Invest it in your future, guys. Food, water, fuel, etc. While we have time to use it, get ready for what's coming. Love and best wishes to all my brothers and sisters. And my comment to Sharon was, G'day Sharon, great to hear from you. I'm truly sorry to hear of your illness, mate. I really love your comment and will be using it tomorrow if okay, as you have raised a valid point here. I will keep you in my private prayers, sister. Thanks for the inspiration. God bless Prep. Well, my point there being, and Sharon's point, sorry, is that she just can't bug out. And that's fine, because some people can't. Like I said, for various reasons. But that doesn't mean you can't have a plan B. Because, and this is gonna sound a bit harsh, because time will dictate that you can't. Now, unless you want to return to and you're going to have to survive, by the way, a hunter-gatherer type scenario, then there will be no choice but to be able to have to join other people, because no man's a mountain. You can't bring the mountain to Muhammad, sort of thing. Muhammad's got to go to the mountain. And what I mean by that is, imagine doing, trying to keep everyone alive. You've got to grow crops. You've got to hunt for food. The everyday items that we're talking about here will not exist. And that includes medicines. So, how long can you stop food for? Let's be honest. The most I would reckon 6 months to a year. And do you know how much food that is? That's like the size of a normal house. It's like a shopping centre, like a small IGA. That's how much food you need to keep going for a year. And I mean good quality food. I don't mean shit food like chips and bloody, all the sweet crap, chocolates, etc. Now, if you're like Sharon and you have a terminal illness, then where do you go to where do you go for your medicines after the event? Because as I said, and as everyone's told you, there's going to be no supply chain. So just where are you going to get them from? Because look, I have no idea. The only thing I can think of in my head is marijuana. Maybe grow a crop of marijuana. Look, I have no idea. And I'm in the same boat because I need meds for my illness. Geez, I can go a day or two. Look, I can't even go that long, to be honest with you. But I have a similar situation where I'm kind of hoping that after the event, and if it gets really bad, then things will dictate to my brain and I don't need the pain, sort of thing. So, apart from that, I'm fit and healthy. But just remember that if you're bugging in, not only are you going to keep food for you, but you've got to keep food for your dogs, your pets, for however long you think you're staying. And that doubles your problem. So, if you're bugging in, here's what I would say to you. You can't do it on your own. And even if you're in a remote place, like Sharon said, you're still going to need people around you. And unfortunately, you are going to have a plan B to bug out at some stage, because you're going to get to the point where you realise you can't do all this on your own. And not everybody that's going to cross your threshold, by the way, is going to be the nicest person you've ever met. Someone who hasn't eaten for 5 days is going to be at best irrational. So, bugging in is an option. And as I said to you guys yesterday, I'm not bugging out straight away because I live on an acre and I'm hoping to have a few things set up by then. But I'm preparing for plan B, which is bugging out. Now, bugging out would be the last straw. I couldn't cope. We can't cope. There's too many deadheads running around, whatever. People trying to steal everything. You know. And as I said, you'd have to have a community around you if you're bugging in to be able to survive that. And I think you'd get to the point where it'd just be too much. You couldn't do it unless you're in a community, a good community. Now, community, by community, I'm talking like 50 plus people. Because 10 plus people is not a community. That's a group of people. But that's nothing for people that want to overtake a group or whatever. 10 people is nothing. So you need at least 50 well-bodied men to be able to survive in a community. That's my opinion. You'd have to have some pretty remarkable people, 10 people, if you were going to try to survive for a long period of time. Even just having a natural accident is going to cause you to lose 1 or 2 or 3, you know what I mean? It's, you know, a toothache in the future is going to be a nightmare. You know, all these things you have to think about, you know, for bugging in. And I can guarantee you, it's that when someone's got a toothache is when you're going to need them, or, you know, they've got a stomach upset, or, you know, whatever. That's when you're going to need that person or people. So look, if you're bugging out, you have to tick some boxes. But if you're bugging in, you've probably got to tick more. You've got to be honest with yourself and say, well, how long are we going to do this for? And how long are we going to save? And how long are we going to prepare? And, you know, and finally, ask yourself, at what point do you just say enough's enough and we're going to Armidale, if you live close to Armidale, or wherever you think the community is. But remember this as well, if you decide you're going to go to Armidale or Glen Innes or Tenterfield or anywhere up in the Warwick or Stanthorpe, then you've got to get there on your own, because the people have already gone. You might be 3 months later. And man, that's going to be one hell of a trip. I guarantee you that. So, anyway, look, I've spoken enough about that. I want to show you guys something. And this is important because I spoke to you guys yesterday about the financial stuff around the world. This is in today's ABC. And I'll put the description box, the link in the description box at the end. Now, these guys are going to keep raising their interest rates. And the reason they're going to keep raising their interest rates is because what's called the intrabank lending rate is going up. So that's the money, the cost of money from borrowing from one bank to the next is skyrocketing. Why? Because the banks themselves are losing confidence in each other to be able to repay their money. So it's when these banks lose total confidence and they refuse to lend to each other, that's when the problem really starts to kick off. So read the article, get to know that this is going to kick off soon. And this is just another sign that it's going to happen soon. They can't stop inflation, folks. It's not possible. Inflation's going to run rampant soon. You know, and I mean, you're going to go down to Coles or Woolies or whatever. And yesterday, a bunch of 12 pack of eggs cost $6. You're going to go in there tomorrow, it's going to cost you 12. And that's not being extreme. That's being truthfully honest. That's how bad this is going to get real quick. You're okay if you've got chickens at home. But Remember that if you're living in a suburbia with kids, can you afford to spend $6 extra on a box of eggs that cost you $6 the day before? Now they're costing you 12. Then you go in the next day after that and they're 24. You know, this is how quick it's going to go. And then the day after that, they're not going to be any at all because the supply chain's broken down, because no one's getting paid. So, my point being, take note of what's going on. Big four banks face mounting pressure to lift interest rates. Told you. Been saying it for a while. Okay folks, we're going to go to the verse of the day. Now this is bizarre. I don't go on the verse of the day until just before, just so I don't want it to influence me in any way. But watch this. Verse of the day. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for me will find it. Pretty powerful. Unbelievable. And as usual folks, here's the Lord's Prayer. And to the lady who wrote in and said, why do you use the wrong Lord's Prayer? For once again, I'm going to say, this is the original Lord's Prayer in its, as far as I know, in its original version. The Lord's Prayer that is said today in Catholic schools and churches around has been changed at least 6 times to suit the Vatican. So what I'm saying here is the King James Version, which I believe is near enough almost to the original Lord's Prayer. If I remember, I think it got changed once, and it wasn't a big change. Whereas the one you're reading has been changed by various Vatican councils 6 times. So that's the reason. And I was told to say this prayer, so I say this prayer. I don't know why, that's what I got told. So let's say the Lord's Prayer. And this one's for you, Sharon. I hope it goes well, mate. The Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory, for ever and ever. Amen. Okay folks, going to leave it there. I have one thing to say to you guys. My son keeps telling me off for not saying this. Please like, share and subscribe, because apparently it makes a difference with YouTube. I don't know why. And how's this? I got monetized. I'll take their money. Why not? So, like, share and subscribe, please people. Send out to as many Aussies as you can, because we need to wake up a lot more Aussies and Americans, or whoever you're watching from. It'd be nice to have you all on board. Anyway, wrap out.